We're set up to do the very last machining op over here in the mill. So what we got to do is we need to drill a hole here. This is for the lubrication oil, the whey oil, to drain down into the threads here to lubricate it and the screw. There's also a channel. Now the factory that made this, American, they use probably some kind of little grinder to grind that channel right there. But what we've got, I've got a 3/16 diameter ball mill that we'll use to just machine a nice looking channel across the top of it, and 1/8 diameter drill bit, and we'll use our power feed to come down through there and drill it. So we're using the sidewinder. So this is a small vise that mounts to the back of the Kurt milling vise here, and allows you to, if you've got maybe some tall parts that you need to clamp and hold, this allows you to do operations like that. But it worked out perfect for these brass nuts. There's a stop underneath here that's adjustable, so we've got it raised up to the bottom there, so we can pull that one out, set this one in there right down on the stop and clamped it in, centered up using an edge finder. And I think that's going to work really well, since the way our piece is made with the flat ends, and it's more of a square ended shaped piece. Another reason why I decided to use this is because I took my 5C collet and collet block down to the new shop. I was going to do it down there, and I kind of forgot about it. So I came down here and realized I hadn't drilled the hole yet. So I was going to set up in the mill. And a collet block would be very simple to hold this. You can also use a V block there. There's all kinds of ways to do it. But I thought this was a great use of the Kurt Sidewinder vise. So that's what it's going to be for me. So we'll get it spotted in just very lightly with a center drill, drill it, and then we'll do our ball mill. Not going to center drill that. I just want to put a spot there, just like that, for the drill bit to follow. I'm using one of my small Albright keyless chucks right here for this. Yep, that'd be good. I'm going to set up and let it just power feed down through this so it doesn't pull through there, because we're going to be cutting through a partial thread, and I want the power feed to come down nice and even as we come down through there. Drop that down in the back gear, it'll stop that squealing. Go a little bit more on our chamfer. That's pretty good. Just something to help catch a little bit of oil. We'll go ahead and do our drilling for the other one before we mill it. Spot it in. Just using the tip of the center drill just to create a little divot for the drill to go in and follow. We're going to use our power feed again. Drop it in the back gear. Put our chamfer on here. We'll just kind of match it up. That's pretty good, right about there. We got our ball mill set in there, and I've got a depth set at 62 thousandths, 1/16, and we'll go 5/8 to each side of the hole. And I'm just going to visually look at that and see how it looks. If we need to go any deeper or a little bit wider. Turning it by hand here. Getting way too much vibration, that other camera, so brought you back to the other. That looks pretty good though. Just going 5/8 to each side. I wanted to make sure we didn't get into the side of the part. I think that looks pretty good. That looks nice. I think I'm going to make another pat. We're going to go ahead and go a little deeper. Half of that would be 93.5 thousandths. We went 62. So let's just go the full depth, make it a little deeper. Nothing wrong with that. That's it right there. It looks good. I'm just going to touch off on the second one. Yeah, that looks good. Nice little oil channel to let the oil drop into and run down to the center. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of the machining portion of our rebuild for the American Pacemaker compound. I still have a couple other cleaning things I need to do on the compound so that I can start fitting all the components together, but I'm going to get those done off camera, and we will have a separate video of the rebuild, putting it all back together, and hopefully it's going to work nice and smooth. I will share that with you guys and tell you my thoughts on it once we get it back together. So hopefully that's going to go well. But I've enjoyed making this part here, and I think it turned out really well. I love the fact that I got to use some of this material that belonged to my dad that he had for so many years up on the rack, and I wish I knew what he had used this to make, but he had some parts he had to make, and there was a big piece of it that he had to buy. And then whenever we had downsized the shop back in, I think it was 11 or 12, we had, he wanted to scrap a lot of stuff and get some of his money back, and he let me cut like a 3-foot piece off of that big piece of square bar and keep it for myself. And that's what this piece that you had saw, it was that 3-foot piece that he let me keep. So a little bit of heritage there, going back to my dad's days in the shop, makes me feel pretty good. And these turned out real well, and I'm excited to continue on this. So something that I have decided to do while making this, of course, we've got our 2 nuts, and I had mentioned maybe making a second one to possibly sell to someone else. And I think what I would like to do at this point, before I start to rebuild, or maybe I could start to rebuild and then do this afterwards. But what I've decided to do, I'm going to go ahead and machine one more of these Acme lead screws right here to match the nut. And I am going to sell this. I'm going to end up selling this as a matched pair, lead screw and lead screw nut, to whoever ends up wanting it. I think what I'm going to do is maybe put this on eBay. We'll set up a nominal price for it to start at and have like a no reserve bid, and then let all you guys, the viewers who might be interested in this, just bid on it and see who wants to purchase it. And you could use this for your own American Pacemaker, 20-inch pacemaker. I'm not sure what other size pacemakers this lead screw and nut will fit, but I know for sure it's going to be for the 20-inch. I know the 16-inch has a different size screw and nut, so it won't fit the 16s, but possibly maybe one of the larger ones, but I don't know. I don't want to speculate that, so it'll be for a 20-inch pacemaker. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and start working on the other parts, and when I bring you guys back for this, we're going to start putting that compound back together. I hope you enjoyed the video, and come on back. I got plenty more to share with you.